Well, fall is in the air. Oh. That's better. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's fall, the season of change. And with the changing of the seasons comes a new truck from Axial. This is the new Axial SCX10III Basecamp. It's a revised Basecamp based on the old Basecamp. There's been some changes though. We've got the same front bumper, but we do have a new snorkel, new side mirrors, new sliders, an entirely new rear cage. I really do like the look of this rear sort of adventure cage on the back here. It does have some removable sand ladders that you can actually use if you get yourself hung up in a situation. Nice that they include those, and they are functional. There is also this cool little storage box up top, which also is functional too. It clips on there and you can remove the top and put all kinds of stuff in there, whatever things you might need on the trail. Nice to see that, as well as these nice molded side mirrors that do tilt in case you get yourself up against a tree or whatnot. It now comes in two different colors, this sort of thunder gray, and there's also a white version. And it also includes a whole new graphics package as well, which I actually think kind of updates this truck and makes it look pretty cool. It almost feels, and I don't want to take too much credit here, but it almost feels like they took a look at the old 24 Hours of Mayhem Basecamp project that Josh and I did and applied some of those ideas to their new truck. Pretty happy about that, actually. A little nod to maybe some of the things I did, or happy coincidence. Who knows? Underneath here, we've got the same SCX10III chassis with the more standard 3-gear style transmission, portal axles, Falcon Wild Peak MTs, and Rhino wheels. So you get a nice base package on an SCX10III with a lot of customization and upgrade potential. It's a good looking truck. I liked the first Basecamp. I like the second Basecamp even more. There is one major change though between this Basecamp and the older Basecamp. And it's not something that is cosmetic and you can't really see it, but it is mentioned on the box. It's not on this side. It's not on this side. Where is it? Let's find it together. It's right there. Yep, this one's made in China. All the previous SCX10IIIs, in fact, all the previous SCX10s of all time, were all made in Taiwan. This is going to be made in a different factory. However, it is using all the same tooling and all the same parts and all the same molding, so there shouldn't be any problem taking parts from an older SCX10III and putting them on a new SCX10III. They should be virtually identical. It's just a different place of manufacture, which is an interesting point. The original Basecamp came in at $349. This new revised made in China Basecamp is now $319. So $30 savings, but it does make a big difference when you look at what you're getting. There's a significant amount of upgrades here over the original Basecamp that do make it much more desirable. So I would highly consider getting one of these ones next. All of the same Spectrum electronics, metal servo horn, metal panhard bar, metal links. These look like reasonable strength metal links. They're definitely the thinner style metal, but they are threaded into an M4, so it is going to be a pretty decent link, if I'm honest. Let's take the body off and get a look at the electronics while we're here. One other note on the exterior before we take the body off. I do like that satin finish textured sticker on there instead of just shiny Lexan. So that's pretty good. I like that as well. Still using body clips, but we know the more premium levels of SCX10IIIs don't do that. So you are paying less overall for this than you would a more full-featured one. There are no lights, and the windows are most definitely just stickers. Everything is painted on there. 35-turn Slick Rock brushed motor. That's a non-rebuildable motor. We've got the Spectrum brushed ESC here. This is probably a Hobby Wing rebrand, but definitely reasonable electronics to get started with. Reasonable steering servo as well, and metal bodied shocks with metal caps. So it's pretty significant value, if I'm honest. Sealed radio box, which is great, and uses The SLT3 radio, not a bad RTR radio at all. This one's pretty good and does have a third channel if you want to go ahead and change this by adding, say, a dig unit or even going to a 2-speed style SCX10III style transmission. So lots of options here and a great starting point for any project. In addition to the truck and the radio, you also get a nice handy manual. You get all your batteries, some light pods, and some extra gears. I think that's to change out if you're going to go to a straight axle. I think this is the gearing you need to change for that. But otherwise, pretty full-featured package. Lots of nice parts, and I do really like this body. I think they've done an excellent job at revising the Basecamp. Still a pretty decent looking truck and still has that kind of Toyota-ish feel, which I do really like. And the new colors are nice as well. So there we go. That's your first look at the Basecamp, and that's where we have to not end this video. Josh and I, whenever a new truck comes out, we very rarely decide to just do a review video. And this one's no different because honestly, it's not going to be much different. It's going to have the same sort of driving dynamics that you would expect, and it's going to be an SCX10III Basecamp. As you can see, the name of this truck is the Basecamp. And we wanted to do something with either the word base or camp. So we're camping with our Basecamps. But we're not just camping. We're converting these trucks to be used at the campsite in some way. And that was basically all we had to go on. Cut to the tape.
You want to bet what color mine is?
I'm going to say yours is not this one. You got white.
You're correct.
Yeah, all right.
So they're different.
Sorry,
That's good.
Let's go butt to butt.
Or you will have already done your review by the time this is playing.
I thought this was the review. It's got this on the back now.
Yeah.
Now with satin texture.
We have come up with a challenge.
We talked about this for a total of 5 minutes beforehand, so we should have it pretty much nailed.
Yeah, I think that the lack of rules is the most important part. But I think we should line out some guidelines as to what we are trying to achieve. We are going to turn these into base camping trucks.
That's right. Whether that means camping with your truck or doing things around camping.
A tool for camping, a camping accessory of an interesting way. I think that interpretation is up to you and what you can come up with. But I will not be telling you exactly what I'm doing.
I won't be telling you quite exactly either, because comedy and mystery is what makes this channel so good.
I feel like fire should be involved.
Oh, 100%. I've already got fire.
I think that your interpretation and mine could be wildly different. Our approaches, as always, wildly different.
Where do I sign into the hotel?
I think they still must drive.
Yes.
After we've used them, they should also then still drive. They should be able to drive before and after. I think
before, and maybe even during and after.
Any level of RC that can be incorporated into whatever you're doing, like, should be also like added features that are also still RC.
Okay, I don't know where you're going with that, but all right.
I'm saying, like, if you add if you're going to try and I don't know either yet, but I'm just saying.
Great. That's a really excellent rule.
Add some extra features that you can control from your radio.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That apply to the camping.
Time limit, because that's something we should talk about as well.
Our time limit is when the videos go live.
We have until then? Okay, great.
Have until then.
Okay, so if you're watching this right now, we have until exactly now to be done with this.
You can let us know who you think had the more useful camp. Yeah, who camped better? Who did?
Who done did camp good now? And there you go. I want to make my base camp into a mobile camping unit. So I'm making a portable campfire cooker out of the Axial Basecamp SCX10III. And how are we going to do that? Well, thankfully, I'm a bit of a camping guy myself. I've already got this excellent BioLite campfire stove, and it is a self-contained unit here. It has a built-in fan. You can build a very hot, strong fire in this firebox, and it'll also charge a battery over USB. It's a pretty unique little device, and when I saw it 10 years ago, I had to have it. How many times have I used it? Twice. Where have I used it? The backyard. So this time around, we're actually going to use this as the base for this base camp cooker. And we're going to have to figure out a way to somehow get this to fit into this somehow safely. And we're also going to utilize probably some sort of winch unit to power a hot dog roller that we're going to install on the top of this, or maybe have the truck roll into an area. Haven't quite figured it all out yet. This is still very much early in the planning phases, but we are under a time crunch. It's October 26th, and this vehicle is out on October 31st. So we've got our work cut out for us. I think it's going to be a very fun, but very weird project. All right, let's get started. I mean, it's a great camp stove too. If you like just finding sticks, using it to cook a hot dog. It's a great way to do it. If you're more interested in the base camp, I will be sure to put a link down below. You should definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership, where you get all kinds of tips and tricks, behind the scenes videos, and you get to see videos like this before they come out. If you're interested in that, I'll put a link down below as well. And of course, thank you to these people for already becoming a member, which I call a gold level ding dong. Yes, okay. Let's start getting into this. There, it's done. Well, not really, but it's proof of concept, and it actually looks pretty good. I have to say, that cut better than I thought it was going to. So what we've done there is trimmed out the bed to kind of contour around the BioLite, and it fits pretty well in there, and it's pretty stable. It's not perfect yet. I do want to design some mounts to make sure that this is absolutely 100% stable and mounted to the chassis itself. I'm also going to create a little 3D printed surround here in a nice high temp filament that we can actually kind of use the body posts here so everything does stay nice and stable. I think that's going to be actually a really kind of key piece here. The insulation around the actual firebox on the BioLite is going to really help keep the heat off of the Lexan, which is very important, obviously. There's no problems with airflow because the BioLite sucks. It's hard to see on that camera, but the BioLite sucks air in through this set of fins right here, and then it spins a fan, which then goes into the firebox to create sort of like a vortex to really heat up a fire very quickly and efficiently. It's a pretty... This is... I know, I'm laughing at myself because this is pretty funny. I took the existing cage, which sort of had this adventure rack on the back here, and left the roll bar. I thought that all looked really good and clean, but moved the whole kind of rack right up to the top where it functions as a beautiful roof rack. It actually looks really good there. Let me turn the truck around so you get a better look at it. Yeah, that looks pretty darn good, I gotta say. Nice little conversion to portable camp stove. Drivable camp stove, more like. This is overlanding at its very finest. Engineering marvel. What we're still gonna do though, you can see the rear sags a fair bit, so we're gonna get some firmer springs on the back of those shocks there. Luckily I've got a box full of springs. So we've got a couple of firmer ones here that we're going to pop on the back there, hopefully get this thing to not sag so badly. And then we're going to design that 3D printed mount for the BioLite, which I think is also going to just kind of give it a bit more of a finished look around that edge on the back there. And then I think we're ready for the next step of this, which is creating the grill, if you will. Not that grill. Okay, first test print on what I'm kind of like using as sort of like a base to help stabilize all of this. I just wanted to see if my measurements were correct, and for the most part they are. Now, the next step on this little project is once we've got this whole thing sorted out, what I want to do is have like a drive-in grill, like a grill plate, and then I've ordered a hot dog roller, like, you know, the rolling thing. It's a portable one, it's smaller. But what I want to try to do is actually animate it, like actually have it like an automated rolling system. So when you drive in underneath this grill unit that has this hot dog roller on it, I want to be able to like hook up a winch and have it actually rotate the hot dogs as they're cooking. Yeah, that's where this project has gone. Progress is being made on the Basecamp stove. So dumb. All right, so I've got this this sort of like portable grill top thingy. What's this thing called? It's a pie iron grilling stand. You know what a pie iron is? Maybe you don't. Maybe that's like a Canadian thing only, but it's this thing, you slap a sandwich in there and you make yourself a pie iron. Hey, Francis. Anyway, it's not quite tall enough. It's close, but it's not quite tall enough. So what I'm going to do is design some risers and then print them. Because having one of these, really, honestly, it is a game changer. You can do anything with this. People are like, what's the point of that? Printing dragons? Printing flexible dragons? It's like this stupid... No. These are the best tools ever. They will do everything. Cannot recommend it enough. Anyway, I'll design those up and print those out next. And we'll get this second revision on this thing out of the way right now and see if that fixes everything and makes it a little more firm, and we'll print that in a better filament. All right, the Basecamp stove is pretty much, this part's pretty much done. This honestly though, this wasn't the difficult part. Getting that mounted on there firmly, that feels pretty good to me. PPA CF for the bracket to hold everything down. It's all screwed into the body now. Nice and firm, feels pretty well mounted in there, so that's good. And you know, we'll figure out between tomorrow and tomorrow night, hopefully, a good way to have maybe a servo winch mounted here on the truck itself, powered by the truck, that will turn a pulley or something to turn the hot dog roller. I still, honestly, this is the dumbest thing we've ever done. But I like it a lot. I will have to update the sign because I did cut a big hole in this this bed which is Lexan, in order to make room for the BioLite stove. So that's going to have to happen. Those extensions will be done in about, maybe, I don't know, let's see actually. How long does that say? 15 minutes. Look at those. Cool, those are almost done. That's great. Cool, so when that finishes up, we'll add those onto this guy. And then that might be it for the evening. Okay, there is the hot dog roller. I've got it set on this old grill that I have on top of the bigger grill, and I've got the extension feet on there. And now what I'm trying to do is figure out how to get rotational motion into linear motion. And there's a bunch of different ways at it, but I'm probably going to need to sit down at the computer and design something that will turn this rotary movement into lateral movement, so this moves back and forth independently and on its own. I do want to have this servo mounted on the truck though, which presents another series of problems because it's so much, lower than the hot dog roller. So this is going to require all of my brain power and then some. So yeah. All right, so here's the second proof of concept. All right, so that's doing exactly what I want it to. This is great, because now what I can do is, sort of hard to see here, but I've got a link mounted there in the track to keep this sort of in place. Now I can make some sort of mount between here and that link, probably just like a clamping thing over the link, and then it'll just move the hot dog roller back and forth, which is exactly what I wanted here. So starting to come together. All right, so update on the grill and the automation of that whole system. That's probably not going to happen for this video. I'm struggling too much with all of the design parameters of the sort of like hacked together grill system that I'm using. So what I'm thinking of doing, and I've already started designing it, is building it in Fusion and then getting it made at Send Cut Send. So I actually have all of the pieces made and fabricated and cut to the specifications that I need for this very specific application. So rather than trying to hack things together, and I think rather than having the servo on the truck and having to connect that each time, I think the grill should be a standalone unit. So it'll have the servo attached to it. I'll get a BEC and a battery and a controller, and maybe make it even so it's like pressure sensitive, so the truck can drive over something, it'll click on, it'll start to oscillate back and forth. And I might even build like a better hot dog roller than the one that I have. If I had more time, all of this would be done for this video, but it's not. It's complicated, especially when you're using like off-the-shelf stuff and you're trying to make it do things. Plus, I can make things 3D printed, but it would never hold up to the heat. So I think building a standalone, custom, bespoke sort of solution is going to be a much wiser choice. So that's a fail. Anyway, let's get outside and cook some hot dogs. And, drive an RC car. This is probably as good a place as any in the backyard. Now that I've got my camping area set up here, I'm gonna have to start collecting some kindling for the fire. Now, so far I've been able to locate these. These are some sort of stick, pretty dry, and probably ignite pretty well. So I'm just gonna have to be on the hunt for more of this sort of thing. If you see any, put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, especially if it's kindling related. Be sure to like this kindling and subscribe to this kindling if you haven't already. Once we get this going, we're gonna need a little bit of extra wood, so got that piled up, all ready to go. And yeah, feel like with this weather, it is warmer than I expected, so I may want to change out of these pants and put on some shorts. All right, that's shooting up a nice bit of flame already. Fantastic. It's working. We better get some hot dogs on here while there's still enough light. So let's load that back up with a little bit more wood and get some hot dogs on the grill. So far, this Basecamp stove is working perfectly. And as an aside, none of this is really hot. It's fantastic. What's really great about this is you can just drive it forward, move the fire to where you need to be. We'll load it up with some more wood here. That roller wasn't really doing everything it could, so I moved the hot dogs one step closer just on this grill here. This seems to be working better so far. Lots of good flame shooting out of that thing, and none of this is really that warm, which is fantastic. I'm doing all of this under strict supervision of my wife, which you should also be doing. You should not be out in the woods using an RC car to cook your food, just for the sake of your own safety and safety of those around you. I would not recommend this at all, but I am having the best time cooking on an open flame. Oh, we're getting some burn marks. We're getting some burn marks here. Get a good look at that. All right. Yeah, we're cooking. I have turned the fan to high mode, and that has made a significant difference in the amount of heat that's being thrown off of the flames. You can see that is cooking now. We are gonna have some very hot dogs in a little bit here, which I'm quite excited about. I have charred my wiener. Oh man, these are burnt. I burned my hot dogs. Holy cow. That's working so well. This is fantastic. Maybe I should put them back up on the roller. Oh man, I think we're close to done here. Now, the one drawback that I've discovered is that it will drip hot grease onto the truck, which is an annoying side effect. All right, let's Move these over here. Oh yeah, these are looking good. Let's toast a bun. Fantastic. Now, if you put ketchup on your hot dog, we can't be friends anymore. Oh no. Let's sit down in our easy chair here. That's definitely the first hot dog made with an RC car. That's hot. What an enjoyable experiment this has been. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you want a BioLite, these are actually pretty useful camping tools. Makes a really hot fire very quickly. I'll put a link down below. I think they're still available. I don't know. I got mine like a decade ago. Anyway, yeah. Finish this hot dog. I think the best news overall is that there's nothing wrong with the truck. Still very much an RC car. It's got a little bit of grease on it, some hot dog grease right there on the Basecamp stove. And got some nice hot embers going there. Probably turn off the fan and shut her down. Get ready for the rest of the evening. But I'd say the Basecamp stove is an absolute success. Brilliant. All these sources of fire I could have used for the hot dogs, but I just preferred using my RC truck. It's getting pretty dark now, as you can see, but nice and toasty in front of this propane fire. Getting ready to tuck in for the night. Hope the varmints and critters aren't too busy tonight. I am so afraid of lipo fires. Please help me. All right, so we've had our hot dogs, we've had our beer. I wish I had gotten some marshmallows. I didn't think of that. I'd be a terrible parent. But okay, we're gonna tuck in here. Get this all zipped up. And we've got our sleeping bag, and we've got our lamp, and of course we've got our Basecamp stove. All right, back in the studio. Sorry we had to cut that short. I got eaten by a bear. Or at least I thought there might have been a bear out there. Or a witch. I don't know. It's October. You never know around here. But I will have to say that this whole experience has been an absolute success. This was not a crazy modification. This was pretty straight ahead. Thanks to me being, I don't know, having the foresight to buying a BioLite camp stove 10 years ago. I knew this was going to come in handy one day. I will say, this is stupid. This was so dumb. But it was very fun. It was a lot of fun to share all of this with you. And I hope you had some enjoyment. Basecamp is a great base for your next project for sure. Thank you so much to Axial for sending this my way. And of course to all of you for watching my goofball antics. Wouldn't have a channel without you. And we're so close to 100,000 subscribers. It blows my mind. That's so crazy. I can't even fathom those numbers. That's a lot of people. Thank you all for participating, being a part of this community. It's just been an amazing ride. So there you go. That's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, we'll see you again soon.